let's go ahead and kick it off. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. My name is Aaron Houghton. I have been leading and sharing my morning prime sessions with the world for, a month and a half now. I started doing this in April when the pandemic started. I thought it'd be a fun way to share my routine with the world, and as part of Boulder Startup Week, done it so far Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So this is my last event with Boulder Startup Week this year, and Boulder Startup Week is my favorite week of the year, honestly, in Boulder. And this has not failed to deliver, although we've been away from each other and over Zoom, just seeing so many familiar faces. And in the moment, sometimes just transporting myself to where I know I would be if this was the real world right now, like walking around downtown along the creek, or going to all the incredible venues, going into the library to see sessions, going into Highland City Club and Riverside and Galvanize, and just seeing all the friends on the street. And so it's good to see familiar faces here as well in the digital world. So I do morning prime every day myself, and so this is just kind of sharing it with the world. And these sessions with Boulder Startup Week have been so fun because we get a live group and we can kind of ask questions and respond as well. So I want to kick us off with just a question. If everybody could go to chat, just a quick read of the room. How's everybody feel this morning? 1, 2, 3 words, doesn't have to be too extensive. And I'll share mine too. Let's see. How are we feeling? It doesn't have to be good either. It doesn't have to be happy. However we feel, it's fine. All right. Great, but rushed. Yeah, I feel a little, fantastic. It's Friday. All right. I like it, Trent. It is. This has been a big week. I know a lot of folks have gone to a lot of Startup Week sessions, even though we've been virtual. And usually when it's an in-person schedule week, by Friday, I'm completely exhausted and I'm not even making it out of bed till like 11 a.m. So I think there's some advantage in being able to pop in and out of things remotely and save a little bit of energy. And tired, optimistic. You know, I said I'm a little excited, anxious, excited. Let's see, expansive right here for the weekend. Just starting my day. All right. Well, thank you for being here and starting your day with us, Rosalie. It's great. So yeah, so morning prime is all about getting my mind and my body calm, positive, and prepared. And so I pick a tool every morning. I sit down with my little journal planner here and come up with the tools that I think will work for me based on what I need. And so we're going to kind of go on that ride together today. And then I've got a special guest who's going to lead one of our tools today as well. She actually led me through this activity she's going to teach today a couple weeks ago, and it was an incredible experience for me. So I asked her to come here and share it with us today. So as we're getting started, I just want to say a quick thank you to all of our sponsors at Boulder Startup Week. You can see them at boulderstartupweek.com. It's a big list, and those sponsors make this event happen even in the virtual world every year. And many of these companies have been on that sponsor list for 10 plus years, or I guess this is the 11th year, so 11 years from the very beginning. And it's just incredible to have a community come together like this. And my company actually decided to sponsor the health track this year, which this event is part of. And we ran 11 events this week across the health track. And so just going to share a couple sentences for the sponsor, which oddly happens to be the organization I work for. So here we go. Thanks to the health track sponsor, Founders First System. Founders First is a simple framework that helps entrepreneurs stay healthy and happy while they build their companies and change the world. We've been using frameworks to optimize our companies for years, and this is the first framework for optimizing founders themselves. Join the conversation by becoming a member of the Founders First community at community.foundersfirstsystem.com, or by searching for the Founders First community app on your iOS or Android app stores on your phone. And we have had a couple folks join us in the community this week from Startup Week, and there's some pretty cool conversations going about entrepreneurship and personal health and self-care in the community right now. Somebody posted a whopper of a question last night that I'm like intimidated to even respond to yet. So I'm going to try and tackle it today because it is a deep one and a really good one from a former Techstars founder in Chicago, actually. So, all right, let's go ahead and kick it off. I'm going to start today in the calm category with 10 clearing breaths. So everybody just get comfortable in your seat, feet flat on the floor. If you're laying down, that's fine too. I think for breath work, I typically like to be sitting up, but you can do a lot of this stuff laying down in bed first thing in the morning. A lot of folks share that they wake up in a kind of relaxed or meditative state the second they wake up in the morning. And so that can be sometimes a good place to start these sorts of practices. Doesn't work as well with some of the movement practices, but the breath ones and anything we do in our head with visualization or journaling can be good. So 10 clearing breaths are pretty simple. It's 10 breaths, but there's a bit of a process to it. So we take a breath in at kind of a medium speed. It's not rushed and it's not super slow or exaggerated like a yoga breath. So it's a breath in over maybe 2 seconds. So breathe in, hold at the top for just a half second. You can kind of expand your chest when the breath comes in, pull your shoulders back or up a little bit and kind of play around with straightening out your posture. And then the release, just letting it go like a balloon that's been popped. Again, it's not like a yoga breath where you're trying to hold a lot of sound or create heat in your breath. It's literally just like a balloon has been popped, boom, just let everything go on the way out. And I'll count us through these together. So breath 1 in, hold for a half second and release. If folks are comfortable doing it, feel free to come off of mute. I think there's something kind of fun about just hearing breath. If you're comfortable doing it, feel free to do it. And don't worry about what your breath sounds like. It's going to sound like breath. That's just the sound it makes. Don't fight it. Don't be worried about it. Don't try and change it. Breath 2 in. Out. Breath 3 in. Release it. 4 in. Let it go. Breath 5 in. Out. On the out breath, think about just trying to let everything go. Any tension in your shoulders that you pulled up on the in breath, just relax it. Don't force your shoulders back down, but just drop them to wherever they would naturally sit. Same about with your face. If you're holding any expression on your face, just think about letting the muscles just droop, letting the skin just fall off your face, not holding any kind of tension or any expression. Let's do breath 6 in, hold and out. 7 in and out. 8 in and out. These last two, try and just focus on your breath. 9 in and let everything go. Out. 10 in. And out. All right, return your breath back to normal rate. Normal breath in and out. If you closed your eyes, you can come back to the room again now. And I like to use 10 clearing breaths in kind of transitions during the day. So a full 10 if I really need it, if I've been activated by something or I feel myself being excited or anxious. If it's just kind of a normal reset, I feel like I'm in a good state, but I don't want to carry any energy I built up in the last event or any anxious energy or excitement into my next activity and I want to get back to calm, I might do 3 clearing breaths. Something as simple as, ending one Zoom call, getting a couple of breaths in, walking around my house once, resetting, back to the next Zoom call, whatever it might be. So just take a second now to do a little analysis of mind and body. Just do a quick scan. Anything feel different than you felt a couple seconds or a minute ago when we started? You can just kind of think through the differences in your head. You feel calmer? People feel more energized. Usually with movement activities, they'll feel more energy. So breath is usually relaxed and calm, people will report. Sometimes tired. I found a lot of these things used to make me really tired. And then in recent years, they start to maybe give me more energy, probably because I'm getting better sleep these days than I used to when I was working 90-hour weeks. So yeah, just take a little inventory of where you are right now. All right. Well, I'm excited to introduce our guest for today. Her name is Rachel Dowdy. She's a good friend of mine, and she is a great teacher and guide. Her company even has the word guide in the name. And she, like I said earlier, she shared this visualization with me a couple of weeks ago, and so I'm really excited she offered to come on today and lead us through this activity together. So, Rachel, I'll hand it over to you. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's good to have all of you on the Zoom call today. What I'm gonna have us practice today is a combination of a breath technique with a visualization exercise. So I'm gonna dive right in and I'll give some explanation after we close out the exercise. So let's dive in. And I'd like for you to focus your attention in the area of your heart. And imagine that your breath is flowing in and out of your heart or chest area, breathing a little slower and a little deeper than usual. And one suggestion is to inhale for 4 and exhale for 5. So you can use whatever rhythm is comfortable for you, but I'm going to use the 4 and 5. So let's close our eyes and we'll do it together. Breathe in through the heart, 2, 3, 4, and out through the heart. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. So keep that rhythm. And as you're breathing in and out of your heart, make a sincere attempt to experience a regenerative feeling, such as appreciation or care for someone or something in your life. Feel your heart swell with love or gratitude as you keep this person or thing present in your mind. And as you're in this state of coherence, I invite you to connect with your vision, the life that you love living. Think of the vision that you have for your life, whether it's for your business, your family, your lifestyle. Connect in with the most vivid aspect of that vision. Keep that vision close to your heart, living in the now as if it is already true. That gratitude or love that you feel is for this vision because the vision is already real. This is the life you are living now. And you are so grateful and so proud that you've accomplished this life. I can see the smile on your face. I'm so happy for you because you have such a beautiful life. And take another minute. We'll bask in this feeling of pure happiness and gratitude for living the life we once only dreamed about. Wow, I can feel how joyous you are for this life that you have. I'm so proud of you for realizing your vision. You've accomplished so much. You have such a beautiful life. And when you're ready, I invite you to flutter your eyes open, come back into this moment that we're sharing together. Thank you for joining me on that. And I want to share something that's really amazing about this exercise. First and foremost, there's pairing the breathing work with your vision and being able to put it in the context of now, knowing that that vision is already there for you. Whatever you're dreaming of, it's there for you. You just haven't gotten there yet, but the resonance exercise puts you into the vibration to make it also. So you're so very close. And this is a great exercise to review with your vision on a daily basis. But the heart-centered breathing that I shared is particularly useful. It's an exercise that you can actually do with your eyes open. You can be driving a car. You can keep your eyes open. You can be anywhere at any time. And you can simply focus on your heart and begin the breathing pattern and reset. Just as Aaron shared his breathing exercise for resetting, this is one you can use to reset at any moment in the day. And as in as little as 1 minute, you can slow yourself down, find that sense of calm, and connect inward and be ready to conquer whatever is next. It's a great way to reclaim your energy. So thank you all for sharing that with me. I hope that you can use the heart-centered exercise and the visualization for you on a daily basis or whenever it serves you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Rachel. That was fantastic. I really just want to go back into my head and live in that moment of vision. I find sometimes when I feel really connected with these things, I have this like moment of longing to return to it, or kind of in the moment going like, don't make this end. Don't make me go back to real life.
I know, it's a nice place to be. I just want to live there too.
Yeah, I just want to sit there. But this is such a great practice and exercise, right? To bring us back to that and remind us of what that vision is in our head and what it feels like and the emotion around it. It helps reconnect with our why for where we're going. So thank you for that. Were those real birds chirping in the background there? Or was that like a bird track? There were like birds chirping at the end. It was perfect.
I have birds here. Maybe others do as well.
Yeah, must have been somebody else. Yeah, yeah. There's this great book called The Nature Fix. Has anybody read it? It's one of my favorite books I've read probably in the last 10 years. And it was actually written by a woman from Boulder named Florence Williams, who her husband's job, I guess, got transferred to Washington, D.C. And so they moved there a couple years ago. And so she was starting to experience this like lack of connection to nature. And she was starting to feel stressed out and anxious. And she's like, man, what is, like, is it literally just my environment that's changed and causing this? And so she went out, she is a writer for Outside Magazine. And she went out and did a bunch of research over a couple years with, or basically went along with all the researchers in the world looking at this in Korea and in Finland and in Utah and University of Michigan, and kind of collected together all of these studies for like, does nature actually do anything to us, or does it just make us like feel good? And is this kind of a placebo effect? And what they found was that there's a couple of things. One, any greenery. So my favorite stat from the whole book is that hospital windows that face any amount of greenery versus like facing another building have like a 30% average shorter patient stay. And the only thing they could figure out was different across those was the view. And they even found in like urban projects and cities that the, what is the word, recidivism, the crime repeat rate of convicted offenders of people that lived in the projects was lower for people that had greenery view out of their apartments where they lived versus people that didn't. And so there's just they basically proved that even just being able to see nature can help in some ways to maybe calm us. And then the connection here is that they found that the number one smell for relaxing our body is the smell of pine trees, of conifers. So it actually slows our heart rate, reduces our cortisol level from cortisol saliva tests, and reduces blood pressure by like 7 points on average. And the number one sound was the sound of birds chirping, and it had a very similar effect. So if you can hear birds chirping from where you are, it is like literally been scientifically proven to have a physiologically relaxing effect on the body and mind, which is pretty cool. So anyway, love a good bird track. All right, so.
As you know, I have to jump onto another call, but I really appreciate you inviting me today.
Yeah, thanks for pushing your other thing back so you could be here. Thanks, Rachel. See ya.
Yeah, of course. It's good to meet all of you.
So I'll share the last activity for today, which is in the preparation category. And this is what I actually have only used in kind of big annual planning things before, but I'm pulling it out today because I thought it'd be fun as we're finishing our week and thinking about new habits we might want to take into our lives going forward. This pandemic has been disruptive for many of us. And so it's a good time to rebuild habits or think about things that haven't served us in the past. And so it's a process called Start, Stop, Continue. And we're going to do it just as a little kind of mental visualization and journaling. So if you've got a sheet of paper in front of you and you want to write things down, that's fine. You can also just get comfortable, close your eyes, and do this in your head as well. So let's get started. The first category is stop. So this is a pretty simple process, but to me, it's a framework that is really, really powerful. So what are some things in your life that you want to stop doing? Things that have been recurring patterns, habits, activities, commitments, relationships even. What are some things that you want to stop? Let's say in the next 90 days. You don't have to phase them out today, but what are things that are no longer serving you? Maybe they're, I like to, in our Founders First workshops, look through what gives you energy and what drains your energy. So maybe these could be things in the drains energy category that you committed to at a previous state in life or a time in life, and they served you then probably, or you thought they would. And now you've gotten to a point where, maybe they don't, or maybe it's time to just take a break and test, see if maybe you don't need these things in your life anymore. See if you can come up with one at least, maybe two or three. And I think it'd be just things that you want to try. You don't have to make any hard commitments to what is right or wrong or definitely the answer. I think bad habits is a good place to start. Things that you've just found, that we found ourselves doing, and maybe we don't know why. Maybe it's that hour and a half of Netflix before we go to bed. I won't give you all my new shows because I don't want to instigate, but we've all got a few, right? Now I'm watching the ESPN one about Michael Jordan right now, The Last Dance. That was pretty good. Luckily, it's only 10 episodes, so we'll be done soon. All right. So our next category is start. So what are some things that you have, maybe it's things you've been wanting to do for a long time. You've been hoping to add them into your life. The last couple of years, I've owned an acoustic guitar and I've played it like 4 times a year. And a couple of months ago, I think it was back in December, I decided to actually take lessons. And so now I'm playing guitar about an hour a day. And for me, it's just been something that's added so much value. It's actually just another way to relax, actually, I found, which is really another good habit for me to have. That was something that was long overdue. And one day I just, nothing magical happened. One day I just said, I'm going to get guitar lessons. And I went to Craigslist and found somebody, and, a week later I'm taking guitar lessons, right? To me, is such a good reminder of how we can change, and we can change so quickly. Sometimes we just decide we want to do something different and we can go do it. Super powerful to be reminded how much power we have to change things in our lives. So what would you like to add? A new habit you'd like to create? Maybe starting over the next couple months. It takes days and weeks to create a habit. So maybe you do it tomorrow for the first time, or this weekend or next week, and then see if it pops up again. The opportunity comes up to start to build that pattern and that habit going forward. All right, our last category in this section is continue. So this is one of my favorites because it kind of confirms to us where we've been on the right track all along, right? It's kind of an appreciation for decisions that we've made that we appreciate, that we've made in the past, and things that we've committed to. So what are things that you want to just give that stamp of approval to right now in your mind, that I want to continue this practice? I want to continue choosing healthy food over other options. I want to continue making time for people in my life that are important to me. Maybe even sometimes if it's not my favorite thing to do, but it's the right investment in a relationship, or the right way to just give of myself to other people. Maybe it's good habits or disciplines, always getting at least 8 hours of sleep no matter what, and pushing off other things instead. That's something probably worth keeping and continuing in our lives if we're there already. Maybe it's not letting our ego get involved in our own conversations or in conflicts, and trying to see the other person's perspective and just giving enough space to understand where they're coming from. That's always a challenge for me. My ego is ferociously hiding just under the layer, and it likes to come up with a vengeance, and it takes a little bit of work to get that sucker back down again. I usually find myself in a better place after I do that. All right. Take one or two last clearing breaths and come back to the room again. You can open your eyes if your eyes were closed. All right, as we close up today, I want to just ask one more question for chat for us to share with everybody. And I think I asked this on Wednesday and got some incredible feedback, and we've got definitely some new faces in the group here today. So I'd love to have everyone share, what is the greatest piece of advice you've ever received in your life? A couple of words or a sentence, and let's share them into the chat. And what I do with these, I'll collect them afterwards, and I'll post them in the event on Boulder Startup Week. So if you come back to today's event on the schedule, this recording will be there for ever. It's the internet. And this chat, I'll collect these and put them there as well. So if you want to come back and review what folks shared, it's a great place to do it. So take a second. Let's think about the best for posterity. That's right, Jason Kreitz. The only thing anyone will remember about us 100 years from now is this chat thread from Boulder Startup Week, May 15th, 2020. I almost called it 2012. I don't know what year it is. Gratitude. All right, I love it. Man. Mine is around, don't assume that you know what other people are thinking. My one of my mentors told me a couple years ago that he was sitting in a traffic light, and he was the front car in a lane that could go straight or turn right, and it was a red light, and a car pulls up behind him, and he's just thinking, oh my God, this car is probably so pissed off. He's trying to turn right. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm blocking him in the lane, and he's sitting in the red lights going, and he's going, and the whole time he's got like this conflict is building in his mind of this car is trying to turn right. And he's probably so pissed off, and my mentor is trying to edge forward a little bit and give him space to get around, and the guy's not going around, and he's like totally stressed out by this. And finally the light turns green and both cars go straight. And he created that entire story for himself about what this other person was thinking, and it stressed him out. He was anxious about it. And in that moment, he had to realize, you know what? Sometimes people are thinking great things, not negative things. Maybe people are happy, or the stories that we project onto them maybe don't serve us. So great lessons here. Thanks for sharing, everybody. So that was Morning Prime. Thank you all so much for being here. This is so much fun to have a live audience for this group, and to have stories and feedback and wisdom shared from the group, and to experience this together. So hope you had a great Boulder Startup Week. Have a great rest of the day, and enjoy spring in Colorado. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks a lot.